And we're live.
So the Powerball was 1.6 billion, and a South Carolina man has won. He is unidentified at this point. In related news, Wings of Redemption has not streamed in 3 days. Coincidence? I think not.
That would be awesome.
Fucking hilarious.
Won. That would be the funniest thing ever.
If Wings won the fucking lottery, if Wings was a billionaire, that would be the greatest turn of events ever. It's almost as good as if I had won. I bought 10 tickets, didn't win. But if Wings won, oh my God, that would be so fascinating. He wouldn't do what we would do though, because I feel like we would all probably make a YouTube channel of nonsense, right? Like we would utilize our current audience and be like, hey guys, guess what? This week we're doing PKA from Mount Everest. Yeah, I just flew everyone up here and I built a palace on the world's highest mountain, and here we are. And it cost $1 billion.
Bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm out.
This is Mook Mook, my Sherpa.
We actually purchased him as well.
I like to think that I would do like so many other people. I'm not even going to change my lifestyle. I would just make smart decisions. Maybe, like a little thing here and there. But by and large, I'm happy with my house. I'm happy with my truck. Like, we're all good. Like, I don't need anything.
I do so much spiteful shit. I just like to like I buy all the land around Woody, every bit of it in a circle. and I do horrible things to it that would drive him crazy. Now, I'd only do this for like 6 months. Then I'd buy Woody like a nice new house somewhere else. But I wouldn't tell him that was coming. I just ruin his life for 6 months and drive him insane for the lulz. Like there'd be a sewage treatment plant to his left,
Jesus
and
Christ.
a fucking sex store emporium to the right with glory holes in it, and like creepy men
You
like
take the
walking
good with
in.
the bad.
There'd be
Because I don't like
things.
this sewage plant idea at all.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. And we're not going to treat the sewage. We're going to store it. It's a sewage storage plant, and we store it in open sloths, just out in the open so it can steam dry. And just ruin your life for like 6 months, and you'd just be cursing my name. And then I'd be like, I'm just kidding, Woody. I've been secretly building you this lovely mansion over here.
Well, how nice
and
of
then,
you.
And then you'd move into that,
I would build...
and then I'd start all over again.
You wouldn't be a billionaire for very long.
Oh, come on. These are like $1 million here, $1 million there. I have $1,000 million.
Okay, fair enough.
And you invest like half of it, right? Like in something very conservative. You only need to gain like 1% a year on $500 million to be making crazy money,
It's
right?
a real problem, though. Like, I become a billionaire and someone wants to like kidnap my children.
You don't want to tell people. See, you got to be careful about that.
It's hard not to.
Some states you have to.
out.
Some states you have to divulge. You have to come forward. Some states you don't. South Carolina is one of those places where you do not have to come forward. But if you do have to come forward, you're absolutely right. It's a little scary, and it makes international travel a virtual impossibility. Like you have to pick and choose the countries that you're going to be enjoying your vacations in. Like most of Europe is fine. Canada is of course fine. I don't think you want to go south of the U.S. border though.
You could, if you go south of the U.S. border, like what would it take to like go to somewhere in Central or South America and be like, all right, I'm going to give you 100 mil, and this little section on the coast or whatever, where you don't have any like industry or anything, just a nice little coastal area. This is my country now.
Mm-mm.
Like, I'm going to build a wall on it. I'm going to build, and it's going to have a moat too. It's going to like, the wall and the moat are mostly aesthetic. It's going to be very Lord of the Ringsy in my country. And like, why wouldn't that be allowed? Like Brazil would be cool with that. Give a little teeny little, it wouldn't even show up on a map.
No, it's easier to buy an island. Like Chiz and I were looking at the private islands the other day.
You're right.
And for like $35 million, you get a banging private island. Like, no joke, a big fucking island.
You go back just 10 years and it's like, yeah, but you need infrastructure, right? You don't even like camping, to have your own island. But nowadays, Elon Musk will solve that shit for you in a month. He'll put in a solar farm and now you're there.
35 million for the island, another 35 million to like add a boat dock and a pier and your house and a solar farm and water treatment and everything. And now you've got an island fortress where you make the rules.
And then you start siphoning off Blackwater employees, making your own militia. Before you know it, you start taking islands without paying, but you still build dope resorts and things on them.
Black Ops 4 Battle Royale, your ping is going to suck.
I don't give a shit about my ping on my private island.
No, I have 0 ping because I'll be hunting the most dangerous game on my island.
Children.
Yes. With pizza cutters. No, see, if you got your own island, you could just hunt real people battle royale style, right?
I feel like you could make that within the rules. Right? Like, it's like, is there some international rule that makes it illegal to hunt people? No.
Yeah.
No, there's no rules that beat your country's rules. China does shit all the time.
Just because you own your own island doesn't mean you're your own country. That's a separate thing.
Well, but I'm going to make a flag, and it's going to be really cool. I'm going to make an anthem. I'm going to hire P. Diddy to do it. No, who's like a...
Kanye.
That'd be funny.
He's
Hire
crazy.
him.
Yeah.
Have him and Taylor Swift duet it. That'd be good. Oh, man. It would be so easy to waste money on an island. You could just go to the Philippines, buy one of their little shitty islands.
Yeah.
Make good buddies with Duterte or whatever his name is. You know, like he probably wants to go and cut loose sometimes when he's not executing drug dealers. He can come hang out at my place. No executing drug dealers here. He can show up with all whatever his drugs and do them on my island.
Look at this.
Or he'll execute me. It's a risk.
These are islands for sale.
All
right. I'll just price them high to low here. These are like these are not little specks of land in many cases. I mean, some of them are, okay? Like some of them are. But some of them are fucking enormous. Here's one for $62 million in the Bahamas. It's 460 acres. That's really big.
I don't have a good grip on how big 460 acres is.
It would take
a square mile.
I can't convert it, but I just know what it is because I've been on parcels of land and known that they were that.
Real big.
Like, it would take you a long time to drive. It would take a long time to drive around 500 acres.
Just imagine like a 250 acre lot. Double it.
There you go.
A square mile is 640 acres, if that helps people.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, so just, mile by a mile.
These are so fucking cool. Yeah, I definitely buy my own private island because I think that there's nothing you can brag about to a woman that's cooler than that. Like you can be like, I've got a Bentley, and that'll definitely get a ton of ladies to just bite immediately, like no matter what. Like you don't have to have any game at all. Like
private jet is next level, and
private jet
still
is
doesn't compare to island.
But if you're like, hey, it was nice meeting you and everything. I'd like to hang out, but we're about to hop in my plane and go to my island. What island? You going to the Caribbean? No, I own an island. It's called Kyletopia. Yeah, I'm very vain. You probably picked that up already. It's called Kyletopia, and it's in the Bahamas. You want to come?
There's 4,600 acres in South Carolina.
That's real big.
That's really big, and it's in South Carolina. I didn't know there wasn't. I bet it's useless.
Maybe
you'd
this
have
is
to go
what,
China with building the marsh out or something.
Is this Wing's investment property he's always bragging about?
Does he have an investment property?
He claims he does.
I bet his mom really owns it.
I bet his mom really owns everything that he owns, and there's going to be a rude awakening someday.
I hope it doesn't work out poorly for him. I would feel bad.
Yeah. I don't wish for bad things to happen. They just do.
Now you got me in a place.
Speaking of Jesus Christ right now, by the way, not as cut.
Here's a 2-acre island in Canada. I wonder if I could afford it. Like, how much is a 2-acre island in Canada?
There's a whole list of them that are like under $500,000. But you can sort by like price low to high. Let me do that.
Most of them don't have the price on it, it seems.
Oh, that's lame. Okay. Sold Tavern Island. God, that's cool. Even this little one. Okay, here's 1 acre for $21,000. 1 acre island.
1 acre island
in Nova Scotia. Here's
Buy it.
This is a shit island here.
Maybe PKA should, go in on an island or something.
Yeah, I bought an island, but it's shit.
That's funny.
That would be even funnier, right? You tell her, hey, you want to go to my private island? They're like, holy shit, yes. And you charter a seaplane and you take her to a swampy ass like shithole with a tent in it, and you're like chopping your way through the brush.
Not even charter a seaplane. Like you load up on some Boston whaler that smells like fish.
You bought 3 Mile Island?
Not so
yeah,
bad.
it was cheap. Centrally located.
Yeah, there's a bunch of islands for less than $500,000. I don't know.
Really quiet here.
I feel like all these pictures are taken at low tide. The high tide, it goes from like 3 acres to 1.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. That's the kind of like extravagance that I would definitely do if I had $1 billion. I think that what you want to not do is get into things that like keep costing money. I think having like one of those private planes where like every time you want to like show off, first of all, just keeping it parked somewhere is very expensive, and then the maintenance is very expensive. The pilot's very expensive.
Did you hear Chael talking about this recently?
No,
okay.
But I just I know a couple guys that have them, and I'm aware that it's a big expenditure. Like that Brent, that guy in Texas has one, right? And I mean, first he's got to build a runway. So there's a little bit of cost, but it doesn't keep coming. Then he has to have the thing parked somewhere. And when he wants it, he has to call him and have him come bring it to him because he doesn't have his own like hangar. It doesn't make sense to keep it there. So he keeps it somewhere else. So he has to pay just to have it brought to him. That's fuel and maintenance because like every hour of operation requires like an hour of maintenance or something silly like that. It
might have to do with the pilot too, right? Like his pilot wouldn't, the pilot is by the plane, not by him.
Of course. Yeah. Although he's got a knack of like whenever he wants someone to work for him, like that ranch out there is such a paradise. Like a lot of like that chef that he's got is like he works on an amazing private chef that works in a 5-star restaurant, but he's happy to come out there and cook for pennies because he gets to come out there and play.
Yeah, that Chael Sonnen was saying. Now Chael's got some money, right? Chael's earned a lot of money in his lifetime. And he was like, never own anything that costs a lot of money to own. He's like, that will drain you dry. And it's like, yeah. I'm not sure I'm following that advice really, but that makes a lot of sense. Like, a plane is a great example. A boat is a pretty good example. You own those things and you just have to keep paying them, whether it be like boats deteriorate pretty quickly. So you have to have it washed all the time. You have to pay for where you park it. You have to, do all sorts of things, or it just gets worse and worse. Planes, time passes by and you need to replace things. And just like boats, every part on it is stupid expensive. The mechanic you hire for a plane has certifications that make him very expensive. And you own things that are expensive just to own. Like you can buy an expensive thing. Like if you get your wife a nice ring and that makes her happy, that doesn't keep costing you every year, but some things do. That was Chael's advice.
Yeah, and there's a such thing as appreciating assets. So it might make sense to spend some of your fortune on those, so that if you ever want to get your money back, you can. And a lot, real estate's pretty fucking good about that. Yeah,
that's true.
Especially in the long term, maybe there's going to be short term.
I sometimes wonder what this place should be worth. My area is kind of booming, and it hadn't always been. Like,
we'll see about that.
Remember when like the last housing boom, like Vegas shot up, Florida shot up. Research Triangle Park didn't. But lately it seems like it has. There's a lot of places that shot up and they're making all these big investments in properties. And I'm like, is this going to be good for me in a decade? Like, could this be something really substantial?
Isn't it going to burst again at some point? Because we still give out subprime loans to people who can't pay them off.
I hear you. And I've had that same thought. I've been betting. I haven't really been betting against the economy. I've still been investing, but emotionally betting against the economy for a couple of years now. And I've been kind of wrongish. This year
But the thing about real estate is...
We're due, though. Like, we're kind of on the cycle for when it should happen.
The thing about real estate is, even if it does burst, it'll fill right back up again. There'll be it might go down, but it's going to go back up again. It's not going to be like 20 years from now, your house is worth more than it is now. I mean, it's going to be. With inflation,
it doesn't help the average person at all, though, because they have to lose their house and sell it for way less than they thought they were going to end up selling it for. And then people, well, I'm just saying for normal people, like they're not nearly as fortunate. It's like your whole life is lost in a way.
If they can't make the payments on it. Yeah. If your house goes down in value, though, you don't necessarily stop making your payments. You just made a bad investment.